Hi, everybody. Today I'm going to share with you a little story of one of my most incredible experiences of meditating in nature, actually, and then how you can actually use nature as inspiration, both in your own practice of meditation and also when guiding meditations. So now, my name is Shamash. I'm author of Mindfulness for Dummies. And when I first learned about meditation mindfulness, I got a bit obsessed with it, to be honest. I learned it halfway through university. I was just finishing my second year, and I almost literally failed almost my third year of university because of I was just buying book after book on mindfulness and meditation, and I was reading them all day long. Wasn't going to any of my lectures, and I was actually doing loads of meditation. I was like, I really need to understand and get this. So I was really trying to be in the moment all the time, really trying to be present. And I just thought everything else seemed to be more a waste of a time. The most important thing was to live in the now. I was a bit upset. I was maybe that's just one of the stages that some people go through. So I was obsessed with it. And one of the things that happened, there was a society at university called the Student Industrial Society, and I think I was like the vice president of it, and then ended up becoming the president of it by fluke. Anyway, got contacted for this competition, and they were searching for the great minds, apparently, from all the different universities in the country. And so I was in a group of 4 people from our university, and we went up to the Lake District, and we were supposed to give this huge presentation and have this competition with the other with the other universities. And I just said to our group, you know what, I'm just going to go for a bit of a walk, because I was in all this meditation stuff. I really didn't care about this great minds thing at all. So I'm just going to go for a little walk. And they'd booked a really nice hotel in the Lake District. And this hotel was overlooking Lake Windermere, I think it was. It was absolutely stunning. So I've never been to the Lake District before, so I thought I'd go for a walk. So I went on this walk, and my other friends were still working on the competition, and I just went for this really long walk, came up to this lake. And I'd been reading books by Krishnamurti, and actually this is one of the books I was reading. Still read it from time to time. That's 22 years old from the time that I bought it, actually. Just realized. Good book. So I was reading that, and really, I guess, trying to get spiritual experiences. So I was sitting by the side of this lake, and I was just doing this really getting into my meditation, and I'd really got into it. And then I remember just opening my eyes and just having this deep sense of serenity and peace. Hi, actually. Oh, wait, quit that at this great sense of peace and serenity as I connected with the lake. And there was this real sense of oneness and I am awareness and sense of connection with everything. Everything seemed to be like one. And so I was there for, I don't know how long. When you really get into these things, you don't know if it's like 5 minutes or 1 hour. But I really got deeply into it and really connected with nature. And then eventually that ended, and I gradually strolled back, and it was probably the end of the day by the time they went back. They're like, "Where have you been?" I'm like, "You know what? I was just living in the moment, going for a walk." And I think we still managed to get through to the final round, but then we failed miserably after that. But that was one of my memories from over 20 years ago, of having this deep connection with nature. And obviously I've had other little moments from time to time as well, but that sticks in my mind. And so how do you access that or share that with people when you don't have that? I'm living in North London right now. I've just got a little garden, and there are some nice parks here for sure. But you can't easily or always access them if you're busy. Well, it's really, really nice to actually guide visualizations, even in mindfulness practice. So traditionally, mindfulness is about living in the moment. So, right now, you're probably looking at a screen, and you've got, the room around you, or maybe there's some grass or something if you're outside, but there's just this moment. So mindfulness traditionally is about just being in the here and now, not so much about visualizing. But the guy who developed it in the West, Jon Kabat-Zinn, he also started to introduce visualizations like mountain meditation, where you imagine a mountain and you imagine being a mountain, or lake meditation, where you imagine seeing a lake and then actually being like a lake. And so I started using more visualizations when I kind of teach my classes. And I find, I don't know if you've heard of the 80-20 rule, but I find that like about 80% of people really warm to visualizations and they really feel like they're in nature. And the other 20%, at first they may not be up for it so much, but then after a while they kind of get into it too. It's a training almost, it's a practice. And there's very few people who are like, no, I don't want to do visualizations ever. I just want to be in the moment. There's a small group into that as well. And even for me, actually, I think I'm part of that 20%. It doesn't come so easily to me, but I can get a sense of it, and I do like it. So that's the power of visualization imagery. And like this morning, guided meditation every morning actually, and this morning we were imagining that walking up a mountain, and we imagined, you know, feeling our feet on the floor and noticing the forest around, and smelling the trees are just after the rain, and then imagine seeing a cloud and walking up through the cloud up into the top of the mountain, and then imagining sitting on the top of that mountain and just looking out in the vista and noticing all the different clouds and noticing the blue sky, and then using that as a metaphor. So one of the things that I really love teaching about meditation is the concept of this pure awareness, the transcendent self. And research seems to agree with it now, in the sense that if you tune into yourself, not just as this small individual just fighting your way to try and survive in the world, but also see yourself as bigger than that, as beyond your thoughts and your emotions and your bodily sensations, almost like a container of awareness in which all these other experiences come in. If you start resting in that space, there's a great freedom in that and a great peace in that. And then, you know, on the hard times when you've got lots of stuff coming in your awareness, or difficult emotions coming, you almost see them as just like clouds coming and going. And so you can use the things that you see in nature as ways to teach that. So for example, this morning I taught about, you know, walking through the clouds, sitting at the top of the mountain and imagining being like the sky, and then all your challenges, your thoughts, your emotions, they're just the clouds coming and going. You're not the clouds, you're the sky. Seems like a small thing, but it can give you a great sense of freedom. So that's one example of a metaphor of nature. Another one that I quite often like to use is the waves in the ocean. So, you know, imagine sitting on a beach and you see the waves coming and going, coming and going. And you can think of each of those waves as like individuals. So just like a person, the wave rises up, comes to a crescendo, to a peak, and then gradually goes down. And so was the wave born, and was it die? Did it die? Well, in one sense it did, but in another sense, it's just, right? All the waves are just water. So in the same way, you can see yourself as an individual human being that's born and grows and lives and eventually goes down and dies. Or you can think of yourself as the awareness. And from the awareness, you have arisen up as a wave, and you're rising and you're living your life. And then that wave will come back down to the end again. And so you as a physical entity may come to an end, but you as awareness doesn't come to an end at all, because you just rise up as another wave. So you're not just the wave in the ocean, but you're also the ocean in the wave. So you're not just a body in awareness, you're an awareness in the body, something like that. But basically, you're not just the individual wave, you're the ocean too. So you're much bigger than that. And so, you know, it's hard to kind of think like that in your normal everyday life, but I think it's good to make some time every day to reflect on these slightly bigger things and see things from a bigger picture. Because of yes, we live our individual lives, and we got all the different things to do to survive and try and thrive. But at the same time, there's another amazing reality happening, right? We're part of this incredible universe. We're on this amazing planet. We're in this amazing solar system. And if you take time to just slow down and reflect and zoom out and see the big picture, then all your individual things are not so much of a big deal. One great way to do that is to watch a video called Powers of 10. And you see the person, you know, you see a camera in it, and it goes to this couple that's sitting on having a picnic, and it just every 10 seconds it goes 10 times out, 10 times out, 10 times out. It really, really zooms out into the huge scale, and you start seeing things from a much bigger picture, which is, I think, healthy. So that's what I wanted to share today, that use nature as an inspiration. Look around, look at nature, look at trees, the sun, the clouds, the way water moves. Look at the way nature behaves, and you are very much part of nature like everything else. So see how you are part of that, and learn from it and be inspired by it. That's it from me. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for the comments too. Feel free to ask any questions or interact or make some comments, and check out my website if you want to find out more. Thanks a lot for watching or listening, and see you tomorrow at 8:30. Bye for now.